c'est nous. On est devant le portail qui n'ouvre pas, la télécommande marche plus et visiblement vous répondez pas à votre téléphone.
C'est notre maison.
Non. Pour l'instant, ils sont chez eux.
On a signé un contrat, non?
Mais quel contrat?
Soyez raisonnable et partez maintenant.
Sinon quoi?
L'audience aura lieu le 9 novembre.
Et c'est la trêve hivernale. On va payer les traits de notre maison pour loger 2 squatteurs pendant qu'on vivra dans une...
Welcome to Horror Movie Review Maniacs. I'm Bill.
And I'm Kelly.
And it's time for Movie Club again.
That's right.
And this time it was our own Kelly who picked.
Yes, I did.
And she picked Get In from 2019. It also goes by the name of Fury. The director is Oliver Abu, and it stars Adam Niani, Stephanie Callard, and Paul Hamey. The synopsis: on their return from vacation, Paul and his family find their home occupied by disturbing squatters. So, babe, why'd you pick this film for Movie Club?
You know, the first time that I was looking for watching some movie, I just liked the cover, how it was, and I don't even know it would be in French. And right in the beginning was so interesting, this movie, because it's like a family come for a vacation, you know, camping vacation, and sadly they could not get in their own home. And I was like, how that could be possible? I was so like, I want to know how this gonna end up. And for you see that is a drama horror, so you know something really bad gonna go through. And that's why I keep watching. And some parts, yes, it's a little boring because, you know, lots of talking, and you get frustrated because you put yourself in their situation. So basically, to tell a little bit about this movie is, like I said, they come from a camping vacation to their home, and the gates are closed in their house, and they cannot get in. And they call the person don't want to answer the phone, when suddenly they find out that the I think she was kind of like a teacher for their son, and they have nowhere to live, and they allowed them stay in their house for the time they are away. But those people take advantage and take their house as their own, like they don't want to give it back at all, and they are paying the bills like belongs to them. And it's so frustrated because I don't know why, but sounds like the law is in their side. It's not in the owner's side, and everything get complicated and frustrated because you don't have where to go. You don't have no more money to spend and to stay in a good place. And they end up in some campsite where his wife know the guy that is the manager, and he becomes a very unique friendship with this guy. But this guy is very controlling and very masculine, that bring him the worst without they know he's really racist. He's really like, you know, very how you say, very angry inside, and very like hate, have so much on hate, and he used the guy to bring the worst in him. And that's when the whole movie go in different level of very savage.
Yeah, I think this is a film that a lot of people can relate to. Because yeah, it's about these renters who, like, what would happen if you let people stay at your place while you're vacationing, and because they signed a paper saying that we will pay for the utilities,
yeah,
they're screwed. Now, according to the law, they're renters, and they have rights, and there's nothing they could do to kick them out. So for a lot of the film, they're talking to lawyers, and they're trying to find ways to get these people out peacefully without legally. And it comes to a point where the judge says, no, there's too much complications with this. We have to suspend this further. And then November 8th, I think it was if you cannot kick, there's a law, and I guess in France, you cannot kick someone out past November something, yeah, because it's during winter, and it's illegal to kick someone out during the winter time. So that's a very, like, I'm sure we have similar laws in Canada, but it says it's based on a true story.
Yeah, it is.
So I think at least the beginning part. I don't know what the last part was, but I mean, but the whole concept, I guess, was based on a true story. Yeah, and the guy that he talks to, he meets up with this. It's almost like it's her friend, right?
Was her ex,
Yeah, her ex,
right?
but he doesn't know this. And the
Yeah.
whole film, he's kind of being egged on to be a man. Like first it was his student at school was telling him that he was an Oreo. He was like he was.
There's a white
he-
inside and black
And
outside.
and they're talking about someone stealing from you. He goes, if someone's stealing from you, then you're a wimp because just kick the person's ass.
Yeah.
But that guy, his student gets kind of a lesson
Deep
at the
and
end.
deep inside of his mind.
Yeah, no, but his student also paid his price by learning that lesson later on in the film at the party.
Yeah.
So
Because he get messed with the wrong crowd,
yeah, exactly.
right?
So and so then he gets too involved with this new friend, and the whole circle is they're all kind of egging him on to let's you are playing the victim, you know what you have to do, and he's thinking they've already told me that I can get 3 years in jail if I do anything to this guy.
Illegal, yeah.
So even if I wanted to grab the guy and kick him out, I can't really because I'll go to jail.
You can lose everything,
Yeah.
basically.
So he's being taunted. Even his wife is taunting him a little bit. Like yes, at first she's saying, yeah, be peaceful, don't do this. But in certain things she does, she's kind of egging him on as well.
Who, the wife?
Yeah, little things that she was doing
I don't think
towards
so.
the end.
I don't think so. Like she was telling him when she see that she was that crowd, and she even went to talk to this guy that was her ex to leave him alone and stop bugging him because she know what he's capable. And she went to talk to her husband and said, you know you cannot do anything. We cannot do anything right now. We have to deal what we have to deal. And he just flipped it, because the same way that, like I said, he brought up all the color issue too, because what the white people was telling him is you being pushed over, not just because your house, but your whole ancestor being pushed over, and you allowed to, is because you married a white woman. Now you are white, you forgetting about everything. So that was like grinding inside him to the point that, you know what, you're right. Now I'm gonna take what is mine, no
And
matter
the thing
what.
is, with this film, the law is what caused this. Because
Yeah.
if the law just did its job and kicked those people out, he would never have crossed that point of no return. Because he was getting more desperate, more aggravated. Especially when it came to that winter deadline, and the guy just gave him the finger. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And there's these people that are just egging you on, making you feel like less of a man.
And you inside a little trailer for
Yeah.
God's sake.
So
For God's sake.
anybody, like you can't blame somebody for breaking after a while.
Yeah.
And he would have got in trouble for this, and really it was the law's fault. But I don't know, like
And he's paying his mortgage.
Yeah.
So that means like all that those people are doing was not even paying rent, because he did not rent. Just the utilities, so they have to have utilities or they will cut it off. And they are not paying for staying in the house, and he was paying the mortgage, giving his money from his job for the mortgage for other people living in where you don't have nowhere to be with your family. Like his money ran out. He was really desperate, And so I think that in that moment is you have nothing else to lose. That's what I think he think that way.
the only thing I can think of, like, is if he called up a news station. This is the kind of story that news stations love to talk about. So I think if he called up a news station and told them what was going on and exactly what the law is doing to us, that's the exact type of story that they love to cover. So I think that's what he should have done, because I think that would actually might have worked.
But it's a little story. You know why?
No, but
because
though,
there's a
it's
little people that own things and more people that rent things.
I know, but
So, I mean,
people can relate to a renter.
But they're not gonna do nothing about it because
A renter being there, taking advantage of someone who's just trying to do right and pay his bills and have someone rent. And this is the type of a story that you would see on Canadian news at 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock. About these little stories these tiny stories that really in the large scheme of things aren't that significant, but they make people angry. And I think this kind of story that they would run with.
But do you ever see rich people doing strike? It's always those people that don't have money doing strike, right?
Yeah,
so those
have
people
money.
that own a house and they're comfortable in their house, they're never gonna go to street or be on their side because it's not messing with them. So sometimes
But people with money
don't care.
can relate to having renters.
But they will not do nothing about it, right? Because they would say, you the stupid one, because how you could let somebody without having any kind of agreement.
He did.
in
He
your
signed.
house. No, he only signed for him to pay the utilities.
He actually would have been better off if he didn't sign at all. There was not the only reason he got in trouble is because they signed that paper saying that they paid utilities, so they're legally renters.
It's like I see another movie that's saying that if you open the door for someone to come in your house, that means you welcome that person, right? And if you cannot just like kick it out of your house, right? Because you welcome them. If somebody invades your house without your permission, then it's different. And that's why the law was trying to say, you welcome them to stay in your house. So you need to have a big reason to kick them out. And they're a good tenant. They're paying the bills.
But anyone can relate to having relatives or friends just stay over for the week while you're vacationing in Cuba. Like, a lot of people relate to that. So just the fact that those people might not leave after, I think that's a story that people would run with. I don't know. So
that I think that after this movie, and lots of people not gonna let them stay over.
I don't know. I think these films love to run with the worst case scenario. I wonder how much of this is actually twisted and not exactly
was true. Right?
I'm sure the laws have contingency plans for this, but anyway.
I just think by the law, I think should have a law that if it's your home and you don't have, it's your house, you're paying the mortgage, there is no way somebody can take over that.
Yeah.
And should be that protection, especially when you're still paying the mortgage. It's like you're paying for somebody else to live. So I mean, yes, this showing make lots of people very angry about the law. That's for sure.
Okay, so we talked a lot about what the film's about. So
how about the end?
How do you like? What did you think of the film?
I think when the other guys come in the end and start taking over, and I was thinking, okay, maybe now he gonna take over the house, but don't make sense to me when he said, I want to take, now is my house, now I'm taking, you know, are man enough to take your home, now I'm gonna take your house. I think that was really silly because he's invading. So if he's doing, no way he could be there if he have this thing in his mind. I would prefer he don't say like his intention was to keep the house but destroy the house. And that's what they did. They destroy completely.
I don't think those people care. They're just criminals. They didn't give
I know,
a crap.
but the way he told him, now I'm gonna be my home.
Yeah, well,
my wife, my this, my that.
Well, that's just him
taking
rubbing his face in it. Like he basically said, like if you're not man enough to take back your house, I will, and you can't come in, kind of thing. Like
But the way he trashed the whole thing, I was expecting that happen because they have no feelings, nothing.
I thought this film had a lot of tension. Even like you said, there were some boring parts. To me, it was never boring. To me, I just felt the tension being ramped up the whole film. I don't know. It just got more and more. I love those scenes with the parties, and even the parties were like almost like disorienting. And there was a scene where she finds out that she cheated on him. Yeah, and then at the end, he kind of like feels like he's at the point where he feels like so less of a man that he feels like he has to cheat as well to make up for it. I don't know. I think
she did cheat, and that's why they're having a second chance, right?
Yeah.
But he used that. He threw that in her face, and she knew that one day would happen, like she said, right? So I mean, in some part, I feel that the guy he was not a very good actor when it was kind of in that party. I feel his acting was neutral, like really like no expression or very weird expression. I don't know. I don't feel him in that moment where it was the party.
I don't know what you're talking
He was like, he was not drinking so much or something. Some point, yeah, he was, and then he was. But in the beginning, he's acting like he was complete out of. He was in drugs or something because it looked like he didn't know what's going on.
One thing I didn't know was what happened to the kid at the end.
His son?
Yeah.
They left in the friend's house.
Okay. That's what I
Remember
thought,
when
maybe.
his friend came in the
Okay.
in his backyard?
There was one scene that bugged me when he had his phone in his house during the invasion,
Yeah.
and he like threw it away. I don't need this phone. Are you crazy?
Because he's afraid that if the police come, gonna blame him to invading the house, and then it could take him to jail. So
guess.
that's what I
But
thought.
that was
I was
kinda dumb,
thinking
though. Why-
because if they call because the police say don't try to force your way in, or you're gonna end up in jail, and that's why he threw the phone away because he
I
was
guess
afraid.
that kind of makes sense, but I think he knows.
That was dumb.
I think he knows his house is he's gonna get fucked up right now.
Yeah, but
so-
at that point, he
Yeah.
still think that he still can control those guys, right? But when the guys really start breaking the house to get the way in, that's it. That's when he noticed that we're gonna die, you know.
So anyway,
there's no way.
I thought this was a really good film. I think overall I would give it maybe 7.75, like just under an 8. I thought it was one of my top 5 of the year.
I give 8 for the reason was a good story, good thing for you discussing and to you feel like put yourself in his position and you feel angry, like you started wondering and make you want to even search the law in that country that could exist.
And even your own country, because I know Canada has similar laws.
Exactly. So I like movies that make you finish it watching and you want to do some research to make sure that could be possible, especially when you think that was was based on a true story. So you really want to know how this ended up.
And
right?
I'm excited to hear what other people in the group think about this film, because it's a film that I don't hear people talk about, and to me it's one of the best horrors of the year. But anyway,
And the acting was I think the sex scene in the end was not necessary.
right.
That one
I think it was him. He's now a man.
I know, but it was really awkward in terms like that's how the movie gonna end.
I guess, yeah.
Like, and I didn't like the end. The end was very awkward and it was not my kind of end for this movie. Would not be good. But I'll give 8 for this movie. I really enjoy, and I hope you guys enjoy this movie as much as we did. And
make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Horror Movie Review Maniacs, as well as our Facebook group, our Instagram, our Twitter, all under the same name. And if you like non-horror as well, check out Movie Freaks Reviews.
Yeah, that's right. And we like to hear your opinion. And if you have any comments, and if you like this video, put your thumbs up. And if you have any opinion or movie you would like us to review, please put your comment below. Okay? Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.